Don't move. He's right there in front of me. It's the creaking. What? Hi there, my name is Wiredestroyer, and today we're going to be looking at the new Snapshot, which is also known as the winter drop. Now to enable this, you just need to create a new world, go to experiments and turn on winter drops, and you can find yourself a pale garden. Now the pale garden is an overworld biome that doesn't spawn animal mobs like cows and sheep. However, it does spawn hostile mobs at night. Now in the pale garden, you can find these trees here. They're known as pale oak trees. These are a variant of the dark oak trees that you can find in a dark oak biome, much like the one right next to it. As you can see, they're very similar in terms of their structure, but you notice that the pale oak trees have an interesting new feature, which is known as hanging moss. Now, pale hanging moss actually doesn't grow. When you find it in a biome like this, the only way to grow them is if you have bone meal. And down here you'll also notice that there's a new variant of moss known as the pale moss, which can also be bone meal much like regular moss. However, this comes with an additional feature. I'm going to place a moss carpet down and you'll see that the size of the blocks have not changed. But if I do the same with the pale moss carpet, you'll notice that it has a bit of growth on the side, which can actually be increased if you bone meal the carpet. But it's only a max of 2 blocks, as you can see from here. Now if you stay really quiet in the woods, you'll hear some noises. Now these ambient noises are actually caused by the pale hanging moss, and you can replicate them, you can recreate these sounds if you have a pale oak log, pale oak leaves, and you place this down at your base, and that's going to create a sort of an ambient sound effect. Now leaves actually drop just the same. You will either need a tool with silk touch or you'll need shears to harvest these things. And in terms of building, the biggest new drop for this update are the pale oak logs or pale oak wood. Now these in survival actually grow the same as dark oak trees. So you need to place 4 saplings, and then when it grows, it turns into a pale oak tree. Now additionally, it comes with its own moss and its own hanging vines. So all you need to do, if you're going to explore, find these pale oak saplings, bring 4 of them back to your base, or maybe even more. Then you don't have to collect every single item, like the moss and the grass and everything else. Now grass actually is regular old grass. It just looks like this because it's in the pale garden biome. Okay, so that sound is what we're gonna look at next. Now the creaking is another hostile mob that's not affected by daylight. So in case one does spawn and it turns to day, it's just gonna despawn. Now the creaking's main feature is that it disguises itself as a tree. It hides among the trees, so you can't necessarily spot it easily. And it stands motionless when spotted. So if I was to turn away, it's gonna start moving closer. Or maybe it even turns around and becomes completely invisible. Now you can't actually kill a creaking. You can attack him how much ever you want, but he's not going to die. You'll notice that there are some particles moving between that block and this, so that's known as the creaking heart. So the only way to actually kill a creaking is to destroy its heart. Now in survival, if you want to play a prank on your friends and maybe spawn a couple of creakings, you can actually get the block if you have silk touch. However, you notice that it doesn't look the same. It's not bright and orange. That's because the creaking heart has a condition. Yes, it has a heart condition. That is, it has to be between 2 of these pale oak logs. As you can see, it's now orange, and somewhere around here we'll see a creaking. There he is. If I hit him, it's gonna get linked up, and it also works if the logs are actually stripped. And here's another thing you need to know, this actually only works at night. So even though the heart is active, it's actually in a dormant state where it will not spawn any creaking because it's in the middle of the day. It has to be nighttime. So the entire biome is actually pretty peaceful during the day. It's only at night when it gets terrifying. Now since we got a new tree with this update, we also have all its wood variants, including the logs, the blocks, the stairs, the fences, doors, trapdoors, pressure plates, buttons, signs, and hanging signs, which say what you need to do right now. So there we have it. This is pretty much the entire update summed up in a single file line. What do you think? Good? Bad? I recently made a different type of biome that's sort of similar to this. It's peaceful during the day and creepy during the night. It's ambient and it's also spooky. So please check out that video and let me know if the pale garden is better than my custom biome. That being said, I'm actually excited for this. I can't wait to use these new white woods, which are described as silvery white. by Minecraft. Please like this video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you want more.